INCRadio Cafe.
Handa na ba kayong makilala at makakwentuhan? Alamin ang kanilang mga latest activities, mga angking talento, at inspiring stories. Mula sa mga kapatid nating nasa Scan International sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Ito ang Scan in Action!
This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are right now. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of INCRadio New York. I'm Sister Abby Hidalgo, your host for today's episode. And with me today, we have, a little delayed, Brother Christian. How are you, Brother Christian?
I'm good. Sorry, I also buffered when you gave that intro.
Yes, we are buffering today.
It's been a long week, so.
Yes, it's been a long week, and I guess unfortunately or fortunately, it's a little bit warmer, but it is raining in Connecticut. I don't know how the weather is over in New York.
It's just overcast right now outside, but a little gloomy today. Usually we could use a little bright and sunshine, but that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. And for our topic today, we're going to talk about laughter and laughing together and how it, we'll share our funny stories or funny memories that we have, and maybe you can laugh along with us. So share in the chat your funniest story, our funniest memory, and we can probably share it. And then hopefully we can make everyone or each other laugh. But yes, today is our topic about laughter, and it can bring people together. It's been, studied to potentially improve our mental and physical well-being. It can provide a sense of joy and relief, especially in difficult and challenging times. It has been described as one of the best medicines. So on today's show, we'll talk about laughter, share our funniest stories. So, Brother Christian, do you have a funny story to share?
Now that I'm being asked on the spot, I probably wouldn't be able to give you a good one, but I definitely had those moments where I've had some funny moments. Maybe if Sister Mika was here, she'd probably tell me a lot about myself. So
yeah, when I was preparing or thinking about sharing funny memories or funny instances, I'm like, I feel like I don't have one specific thing, but I know I laugh a lot with my friends. There are a lot of funny moments that we have. And it's usually because I did something silly. Like I'm very klutzy and I tend to, I guess, fall a lot because I trip over myself, my feet. And like you say, like trip up the stairs, so we laugh at our, our silly moments. And, after watching like a movie, right, there are funny movies out there, and then you just like kind of have those catchphrases that you remind each other of certain movies or certain instances in those movies. Um, but yes, let's, if you have a funny moment, I can check the chat to see if anyone has shared any funny stories or funny memories that they would like to share. Um, but yeah.
So how klutzy are you, Sister Abby? I'm just curious for our viewers.
I mean, I have a lot of scraped knees and scars on my knees. I feel like there was one time I was walking to class back in New York, and I don't know how, it was flat lands, the parking lot. It wasn't anything bumpy or whatnot. And all of a sudden I just like face planted on the ground. I don't know if I tripped over my pants or my shoes or whatnot. And it was just like I just lied on the ground for a bit because it was I just didn't know what to do in that instance. But there's times like I don't know, like I have a lot of scars on my hands and my feet or my legs because I just tend to fall down a lot. I don't know if my legs are, uneven. Sometimes they say that, we're not perfectly proportionate, but if you have like a discrepancy in your leg limbs, you might maybe have issues, but I don't know.
I was gonna say, I think I'm the same thing in a way. Like I can be klutzy at times, but then I just realize I just fall. I just don't have balance. Let's just say that.
Yeah, Sister Cheyenne says, LOL, I'm also very clumsy at the Abbey. And that was also my first thought every time I trip or fall. Also an instance, I didn't know how sharp plastic knives are. I was cutting an apple, and surprisingly, I cut my hand and there was blood. And I didn't realize that plastic knives, are sharp. So, and everyone laughed because they're like, they didn't either, but it's like, oh, now we know. Don't really cut too deep. You could hurt yourself. But yeah, that's another funny story I guess I can share about my misfortunes. But okay. Is there a time, Brother Christian, that laughter has changed your mood? Like I know this week, or like we've been having like throughout our lives, we can think of like difficult times that we have faced. But is there a time that you can recall that just having something funny happen just change your mood for the rest of the day or the rest of the week or what have you?
I think one of those moments would probably be like, you ever had one of those moments with your close friend that you're you're not paying attention, you're kind of just drifting off into space, and then you see them looking at you, but they're not really looking at you. So you kind of like get their attention, and you're like, what's happening, and then they're also confused, so then you're both confused. It's that kind of moment. I have a lot of those, so.
Yeah, I mean, like when we're upset and then your friend like notice that you're upset and then you're serious for a moment, you're serious, like say what's wrong, if they're willing to share and whatnot, and then you have a discussion just to have another perspective and to get some type of like understanding of the situation. But then like I feel like at the end of those difficult conversations, like for me, and I don't know if it's for everyone, that you kind of try to lighten the mood, right? Like it's a stress reliever. So you say like something like outlandish and they're like, and then everyone starts laughing and it just kind of breaks the tension and you kind of leave on a good note. So, I don't, that may not work for everyone if they're having a serious discussion, but sometimes if it's a close friend or, a friend that you just want to lift their spirits, you always kind of end on like on try to make them laugh so that they won't be as sad or upset as they were before. But I think you have to understand the person that you're talking to, because I don't know if you ever experienced it, Brother Christian, about if it can be quote unquote inappropriate and they get even more upset with you and you're like, oh no, I kind of overstepped my bounds. But I guess you have to know your people that you're talking to.
I
Um,
guess another, I don't know. Well, she's not here, but I'm gonna give a shout out to Atamika. But when listen, when we're together, it should not be, it should not be a situation. But Atamika and I always have those moments where it's like, we're talking about a topic, and then all of a sudden, we just changed to a new topic, and then we didn't realize that we changed to a new topic until like later, and we're just kind of both like, wait, did, weren't we just talking about something else? Like if you know her, if you know Optimika, if you know Sister Mika, you get those moments with her.
yeah, I feel like we're very like if you're having a good conversation or even like with your friends or who have you, your classmates or your coworkers, like it can get very tangential. Someone says something and then you say something else and then it just goes around in a circle and then you're like, wait a minute. Well, we had something serious to talk about. And then, like you try to walk it back and, try to figure out like where you started. Um, so, Brother Pastor Palacio says, I love laughing with my kids. So, yeah, we can share some laughter with our family members. There are some studies out there there are some benefits with laughter and laughing. Um, and yeah, so it can also, strengthen the relationships between, your friends and your family. And what do you think about that, Brother Christian? How do you think like laughter can strengthen the relationships of people?
I think all the more it's important because you need a little smile, a little laughter in your life once in a while. I mean, we go through so many things on the daily, you know. We're all kind of busy. We're all busy people. We have something to do, something important things to do. And oftentimes we get so just caught up with like, being so busy that we forget to smile or like um laugh from time to time. And laughter actually, I learned this in class in psychology that it boosts your dopamine levels, so you get more
Hmm.
happy, um, and that boosts your mood entirely. So once in a while, find something to laugh at, whether it be with someone. Don't laugh at someone, but like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, like, or find something online that makes you laugh once in a while, or yeah, or ask someone to, hey, make me laugh. What I do is I use my phone and I ask, hey, tell me a joke, and then it generates a joke, and you're just like, okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Brother Ray Valdez, he said, in my life experience, these make my life's challenges feel lighter and more manageable, which is true. You can't be serious all the time. You need to have some lightness um, in your life. And then Brother Chris Ornedo says sometimes simple conversations but with good friends turn to happy and unforgettable moments. I do agree with that. There's times where you're just like hanging out with your friends, especially at the chapel. I remember when I was a younger Kadiwa, when we would hang out at like after worship service or after like any activities, and those become like really unforgettable moments that we can share and like remember when we get older. It's like I remember the time that um I don't know. I just remember when I used to live in New York and I was in Belmore, like we had like so many nights, especially in the summertime, that we just constantly laughed. And we had like a lot of good memories. And I know it's so hard to like pinpoint it, but like those after those nights when we get home and rest and whatnot, you feel like your stomach muscles are a little sore because you've been laughing so much. And then we joke. It's like, hey, since we're laughing so much, is this our road to getting a six pack? Because we're all about trying to get six packs and being
It's
physically fit.
it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that you got those moments when you laugh so hard with people and you feel like your stomach is hurting because of the amount of laughter you did. Kind of get the same feeling here in Manhattan as well. Like, we everyone here is very like laughter, very unserious most of the time, but we are very like so funny and like really friendly with each other. So I feel like every Saturday we're always just constantly laughing about something new.
Yeah, and like I feel like having those people in your life, even like you should try to keep those like moments and those special moments, and like having those relationships with those people, like it will, you can have those lasting relationships when you get older and reminisce about the good old days of being once young and whatnot. But yeah, I in my like I was kind of curious on like laughter, so I was like trying to do some research. But there's different types of laughter, Brother Christian. There's like 5 types.
I know there's a Filipino laugh, so if you know what I mean. All right, so what are those 5 types, Ethan?
So there are 5 types. So I guess the definition is laughter is an emotional response to like an environment, situation, or stimuli. And it's different than humor. Humor is like a stimuli that causes laughter. And there's, I guess, 5 different types. There's one that's genuine, which is like spontaneous. And the other one is self induced, so that you kind of force yourself to laugh. And then another one is stimulated, which is like when someone tries to tickle you, or tickle you. Another is induced, which for example, using like medication, when there's like some operations, like I think mostly for dental work, they give you the laughing gas, so that's another type of laughter. And then there's pathological, if there's like something wrong, like physically or whatnot, like and whatnot. So there are 5 different types, and depending on your laugh, you can tell what kind of type it is. And I think you can. There's like it's like been researched, and it's kind of interesting that you never realize it until like, oh yeah, you can tell if someone's being genuine when they laugh or someone's being fake when you laugh. Um, and depending on the type of laughter, it has different benefits. So they were saying that sometimes the forced or the stimulated laugh doesn't really produce the emotion that you have with a genuine laugh. So it doesn't have like the same benefits. So it's kind of interesting when I was just like, laughter is such a simple thing, but it's so complicated. And it's like interesting to read.
Right, the science behind it is
Yeah,
always
the fun facts.
there's always more towards whatever the most simple thing that you ever do. So
Yeah, we have Sister Blessy says, I love laughing. Sister Isabel says, watching the kids and our local play with each other is actually kind of funny. Hashtag Portland GWS. And then Sister Cheyenne says, when you're with your family or friends and think of a core memory that was so funny and when brought it up again still makes everyone crack up. I agree. Yeah, the kids today, right, Brother Christian? I don't know how big your children's worship service group is, but just watching them, it's quite entertaining, and it makes all the older ones like laugh. It's like, oh, I remember when we used to be that age, and they're also creating like those core memories when they can look back and with their friends at church and remember them.
I also love the Cheyenne's comment about she said some people have a contagious laugh and it also makes you laugh. So yes,
Yeah.
I will agree with that.
I think it's the ones that like are loud and they snort and they start snorting because when they take a breath, it like makes another noise. So that just kind of perpetuates the whole laughter part. We're not laughing at them. We're just laughing with them. So I guess we can do our last question. Why do you think it? I know we kind of touched upon this throughout the show, but why do you think it is important to laugh?
Well, I think we covered it earlier. Like I said, we're so busy every day, and you kind of just need that little brief moment to fill yourself up with a little bit of goodness, a little bit of smiles and laughter. You don't always have to be so serious all the time. I mean, take it from me, I'm very unserious half the time. Yes, shout out to my DCAD fam, but yeah, like it's important for us to laugh from time to time because I there's this saying my mom always tells me, she's like, stop frowning, stop being so serious. You're gonna get wrinkles. So if you don't want wrinkles, smile.
Yeah, I think I might be wrong, but I know there is also another saying that it takes more muscles to frown than smile, or is it the opposite? I forgot which one it is. So it's better to smile more than frown because you're using less muscles. So therefore, you like what brother Christian said, you'll have less wrinkles. Don't quote me on that. I didn't have a chance to like confirm it, but I know there's like those sayings about smiling and laughing. And then like what brother Chris also message in the chat, like most of the time laughter is contagious and it's the kind of good thing to be infected with. So yes. So it's good to laugh. It's good to share the laughter and the joy, you know. I feel like the world is very, you know, stressful and there's a lot of negativity out there, so we should also have our space of some positivity and joy and happiness so that we won't be, you know, very sad for too long or stressed for too long, because as we learned in previous shows, you know, being stressed also affects the body. So check out those previous shows that we talk about stress and whatnot and the effects on our body. And yeah, so I know there's like a lot of benefits to laughter and making those core memories with your friends.
And before we end, and move on to the next segment, you are right with what you said.
Oh,
It takes about 17 muscles to smile rather than to frown. When you frown, you're using around 43 muscles. So it's it takes less muscles to smile than to frown. So smile all the time.
I think I counter that statement. Someone say, well, I want a good facial workout, so I'm going to frown because I'm using more muscles. But you know, but yeah, like, you know, smiling, using less muscles. But then again, you know, everyone has a beautiful smile, and laughing and smiling is very contagious. So spread the joy to all the world. But yes. So I guess we can go on to our next section. Do you want to read upcoming events, Brother Christian? I know there's a lot of local activities we can be excited for, as well as district activities.
Yes, this is what I love about our district, because we're always doing something new, something that gets us all involved, right? So here are the upcoming activities within the District of New York. On April 18 to 19, we have our district CFO get together at Johnsonville, Connecticut. So if anybody else is, if you're looking forward to come and, show up for a little family get together, please do so. I'm pretty sure everyone will be excited to see one another again after being actually, it's been a while since we have a big district event like that too. So it'll be nice to see everyone. So please do come through April 18 and 19. And we just have lots of local activities in our district. So on April 5, Rochester is having a dessert making activity, and Boston will be having their nature walk. So if you would like more details, please reach out to those brethren and those local congregations. And on April 6th, Boston is doing their nature walk, not Bronx. April 6th, Bronx is gardening. And that's tomorrow. And Manhattan, my local congregation, is having their 10th anniversary celebration. So
Happy anniversary, Manhattan.
quick shout out to my local congregation. Hello, Manhattan. And Wyndham tomorrow as well. We'll be having an activity called Greeting in 5 Languages. So very interesting and sounds fun. And if you are interested in joining that, if you're around the Wyndham area, please let them know that, show some support. And April 12th, Forest Hills is having their gardening tutorial. Ooh, sounds fun. On April 13th, Boston will be having board games, arts, and crafts activity, and Bristol will be having a tie-dye activity. So those are fun arts and crafts activity to do, and little socialization activities. On April 18, Wyndham and Cranston will be doing a painting activity together. On April 20th, Rochester is doing a team building activity, and on April 26th, Bristol is having their Bristol Nature Appreciation activity. So lots and lots of things happening within the different local congregations in our district. And again, if you are interested in joining in any one of those activities, let those officers know, and I'm sure they will be happy to have you join their activity.
Yes, and I know there's plenty of district activities that we're looking forward to. So again, keep your eyes and ears open for those announcements. Sign up for those activities because, during those activities, there'll be a lot of laughter and a lot of smiling, and we'll enjoy each other's company. So we can read some greetings and shout outs from our chat. It's pretty, active. We have Sister Hannah from Portland Group Worship Service, Brother Philip Souther from Cranston, hashtag Wyndham. We have Sister Jennifer from hashtag Forest Hills. We have Brother Jojo also from Forest Hills. There was another comment from, I lost the comment, but we have Sister Perlita from Long Island City, Sister Joy from also Long Island City. We have Sister Gemma saying a happy 10th anniversary Manhattan. Sister Cheyenne from Woodbury. We also have Sister Rowena from hashtag Woodside and Long Island City. And we have...
I believe Belmore was also tuning in while they're doing their general cleaning. So thank you, Belmore, for still staying tuned in with us.
And there's also brethren from Rochester all the way up north. Hopefully they're not having any snow because sometimes if it's a little colder, I don't know. But we miss Brother Lance too. So I know he is performing other duties. So we hope to see him
Brother
soon.
Lance has a contagious laugh. So if
He
anyone
does.
wants
He does have
if
a
anyone wants a
contagious
good laugh, just call him.
And then we have Sister Diane. She says she's going to an Ubi Fest in Union Square if anyone would like to join. That sounds like fun. Ube is like a purple, I don't want to say yam. Is it a yam or is it a potato, sweet potato? I think it's a yam.
I think it's yam, but I will see you at in East Village if you are going.
Yes, it'll be like if you're in New York area, there's a lot of food festivals, and again, meeting up with brethren and remembering having those core memories of some laughter. But
and
yeah,
our forecast today is raining in New York City, so if you are planning on going, just bring an umbrella, a raincoat. Just keep that in mind.
Hopefully it doesn't flood because I remember those shouldn't. It's not too heavy, so we should be good. But I guess we are ready to close out the show. So thank you for all those who are tuning in. It's all for our show today. Thank you to the church administration for continuing to give us a platform like this to speak about interesting topics like these. Don't forget to catch us again next Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time or Sunday 12:30 p.m. Philippine time. Brother Richard.
And greetings to our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and to our Christian Family Organization Coordinator and Sub-C President, Brother Angela Aranya Manalo. Also greetings to our INC radio station manager, Brother Wally Taray, and our executive producer, Kuya Manly Andaya. Especially to our district minister, Brother Sheridan Santos, our assistant district minister, Brother Neil Patrick Omelda. That brings us to the end of our show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.